T-shirts on sale.
Yes.
Everybody ready?
All colors.
All right. So I was having this conversation with this Muslim girl, right? She's married. So she's saying that her and her husband are having problems right now. Now he's down in Atlanta for like a couple of weeks. They're on like a little trial separation or whatever. But what she's saying is
Not doing it.
that he likes to argue with her and she's not argumentative. Like, this is the first that the woman is not argumentative. But she's saying
No, I'm one of those two. I don't argue.
that she don't like to argue and he always wants to argue about every little thing and it's just getting on her fucking nerves. But her whole point was saying that she's damned if she do, damned if she don't. So she's saying that they have businesses together, they have other houses together, they just bought a house in Delaware, and that it would take a lot for them to break up. So she's saying she really don't want to break up with him, but she also doesn't want to go out here in these streets because it ain't shit out here in these streets either. So the question of the night for ideology is, who settles more relationship, men or women?
Whoa, hit that last part
What's
again.
up?
You were breaking up on it.
Yeah, you broke up.
I said, who settles more in a relationship, men or women?
I think women do.
Me
Here
too.
you go, KD. Here you go, KD. Here you go, KD. Y'all jump right
When
up.
you ask, it's just my personal opinion. I think women do because we tend to stay in a relationship longer in hopes of making it last. So we're gonna
KD,
take more.
KD, let me explain something to you, KD. I know guys that's in a relationship that haven't had sex with their girlfriend slash wife in a year.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
That's because they're out there doing it on the side.
no, KD. No, KD. No,
Look, mhm.
no. So the wife is
Okay.
not giving them none. So don't always just jump out the window and defend your own gender, No, what's up?
I'm gonna be quiet.
No pandering, y'all. No pandering, y'all. So what's your take, Aisha?
I honestly think that the women do take a lot more. I know it can be equal. Like, I know men have to take and deal with a lot and compromise a lot, but I think the women do it more. And the reason that I say that is because if you think of the times where there is an outline necessarily of, everything is supposed to be 50-50. Sometimes it doesn't always end up being 50-50, and the women takes just a little bit more. So that's why I say the women.
All right, hold on now, hold on. So let me ask y'all: do you think that the women take it longer, or is it more things that does the guy sacrifice more things, or would the women take one thing longer? How do you think that sways? What's up, everybody? Quiet.
I don't think I quite. So you're asking to. I'm not getting your
KD,
point.
KD. Say a guy is sacrificing. He can't go outside. He can't do this. He can't do that. He can't do this. He can't do that. But the woman is only sacrificing. Like, all right, he cheated. He cheats, or he does this. It's this one thing
Well,
that
cheating is a pretty damn big thing now. I mean,
still one thing.
that's a totally different damn ball game right there, T.
Don't lose the example, KD. Don't lose on your emotions, KD. Don't lose the example on your emotions. All right. I'm saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying that it's this one thing that he does that annoys you over the 50 things that you do that annoy him, and there's no
Why the
compromise.
hell we gotta be doing 50? What are y'all doing 75 to or nowhere else?
What happened?
But we still take it.
What
I
you
got a
say,
question.
David?
I got a question in the comment, right? Um, let's take the cheating part out of it, because that's easy to hang our head on that, right? It's
Thank you,
easy to say
Viola.
if you cheat that the woman got to settle or a man got to settle. Let's take that out the whole
Right.
thing. Let's talk about pure me and you, right?
Right.
So let's say the man's responsibility or the man is trying to gather finances to provide for his home. He's
Oh
working all
my
the
God.
time. He goes to work. He has to work. His job limits it
No,
to
no, no,
certain
no.
things.
Hold on. I gotta interrupt you real quick because is this your people, KD? How you gonna say you sacrifice? We sacrificing our bodies.
Hey, baby. Look, don't you be messing with my little girl. Hey,
Yeah,
baby.
girl is wild.
Go ahead now.
She's a smart young lady. You better listen to her.
I'm
That's
I'm
all right. We
sure.
sacrificing our bodies too. That's all I'm saying. I've been used as a piece of meat before too, KD.
I can see that, T. Where you put yourself out there like a piece of meat. You and
I've been
Nell,
used
y'all put yourself out there like a piece of meat.
myself out there like a piece of
What
So,
the fuck? I okay.
Now, like, I ain't never been nobody's piece of meat.
I'm a
Yeah, ain't
person.
that?
I'm a person, damn it. I don't want to be used as.
Yeah, I ain't know that.
Go
I
ahead.
ain't
well, I'm sorry to let y'all guys know, but you're in the public eye. You're handsome. Y'all a piece of meat to somebody.
ho. Let's hold the fuck up. So
That's
you
what
tell me that's why things are so it's friction in the female and the male's perspective. Like because we handsome mean we just dick and we just should be used for that.
right.
Okay,
So
well,
I'm saying
men ogle us, right, Aisha? Okay, it's not like we're not eye candy.
And
I mean,
I'm
it is what it
satisfied.
is.
Mhm.
I have a problem with that. So a nice looking guy, he all like why do we always get categorized? If you're a nice looking guy, all you're good for is slinging dick. Why can't we
No,
all why
I didn't say that. You're just nice for looking at. I mean, I didn't say all of that now.
so we only so a nice looking guy is only good to look at?
No. No. This is the greatest. This is the greatest. She is smart, KD. She is fucking smart. Because this is the greatest example right here that men do settle because of their lack of options. A lot of men do settle because they don't have the options to do more. I agree with that.
Or say a man might settle because he has found what it truly is that he wanted,
Right.
right? Like
Mhm.
Mhm.
it's a lot different. Like we you might say, oh, we settle for something, but that might just be what that man was looking for.
Right.
Right.
And that woman might have just been enough, regardless of whatever. She might just be enough for him.
But
So
now,
we hunker down and we stay where we at. We stay
hold
where we're
on.
comfortable at.
Hold on. But now I also know guys who's never, really gotten females like that. So once they get a female,
Oh
they're
yeah,
happy that they got one. What you shaking your head,
exactly.
Katie? I see you shaking your head, Katie. This is a real thing.
Wait, I didn't. I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
I said there is guys that have never gotten a lot of females coming up. So once they get one, they're just happy that they got one. So they'll take anything from her just because they're happy that they got one.
Well, I mean, that can happen with females too.
Yeah.
But
That's a two-way street.
how likely is that though?
That's very likely.
That's very likely.
I've known
I,
a lot of ugly babies went to school with me and grew up to be like beautiful. And
do,
now,
do, do y'all know? Do y'all know how many ugly women that guys will still smash? Like,
Yeah, but they'll smash.
right?
That's it. They'll
yeah,
smash.
smash and that's it. Yeah, yeah.
They might
I
not
mean, they
necessarily
hide.
be, making this their dip. Like they
Well,
might smash and keep
Right.
it moving.
well,
You know what I mean?
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right?
True.
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 So just because they smash, like I know a lot of ugly girls that got kids and families, and like they're together. So it's not like they can't be.
Well, they got kids. They got kids because that man didn't take his own condom, and she was trying to get a baby by a good-looking man. So now you got to blame that on the man.
All
Right.
right, if you're saying that women settle more than men, how come women always seems to have an issue with something? When you
Yeah.
settle,
I
you
don't.
don't have an issue. You don't have a problem. You're
Right.
comfortable when you settle. What's the definition of being settled? Comfortable.
Hold on. I don't believe that now.
No, I'm saying stand in your lane, right?
Right, but I don't believe that in all occasions because you could be settling. You could be not wanting to settle, but that's your option. That's your only option right now.
Exactly. But I'm saying though,
Mhm.
you only will conform when you have to,
Right.
right? You only going to conform because you have to. So you can say, how can a woman say she's going to settle more than a man if she's always going to highlight her issue with something?
Right.
You're never settled at that moment, right? You're not settled. You might be living in the moment, but you're not settled because you're always pressing the issue.
Right.
When you don't press the issue, You've conformed to your surroundings, your situation. You're not quick to jump off. You're not quick to leave. You're not quick to point out the negative. You're not quick to point out what's wrong because you settled already.
And not only that, no, a lot of people, that's their character. Like their character might not be to combat what they're settling for. Like they might not even notice that they're settling for something because that's not their character.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
I think we all settle when we find what we're looking for. I'm gonna just say that when we found that person who we're willing to share good, bad, or indifference with, and we know it, then we that's it. And you figure it out.
When you speak of settling, I thought y'all was speaking of settling for someone and you're not being treated the way you want to be treated. So you just like saying, okay, well, if I go out here and get somebody else, it's gonna be the same thing, so I may as well stay here. I was thinking you was talking about that type of stuff.
All of that is included, Katie.
Yeah,
all of that is included.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or this person is just everything I wanted to be, even though she be riffing, I still love her enough to still be here. It could be that. Like we do that a lot. Like, yo, she be wilding, but I still acting her.
Yeah, and it could be a thing where, you know, you're waiting for someone to make some changes. Like if you keep talking on it or keep speaking on it, maybe they don't look at it as them settling, but maybe they're looking at it like, okay, well, you know, if I keep speaking on it or something, then maybe those changes will happen, and then that person will then
maybe wait for the
things
change.
that I don't like, right?
Okay, I think I listen to both sides, and I actually want to change my answer. Because I'm actually hearing myself talk. I'm hearing y'all talk. I think the person who settles the most is the person that's comfortable with themselves. Right? When you're comfortable with yourself, you know exactly what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. And if you feel comfortable in that situation to say, regardless of whatever, I know this is I know this is where my heart is, and this is home for me, regardless of any issue that I might have with this person, because we can work them. We can work through them. Settling is understanding, is having compromise, is compassion, is understanding that shit ain't perfect.
But that's what I mean, Nell. That's what I mean, though. When you're settling without the compromise, that's what I'm talking about. When you settling without.
I think women settle more than men, though.
How you say y'all settle more than a minute under that situation?
I think y'all settle
when y'all always bringing something to the attention of.
I don't think y'all settle for more things. I think y'all just settle longer.
Or y'all just
yeah.
We stay in it longer. I do agree because because most women they gonna stay in it until they just not in it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the dangerous part right there.
Do men really walk away? Like really? Like y'all say y'all stay.
I mean, I've seen parties walk away because you'll stay there and take, out of love, you're gonna take. But I've seen it where again, I can only go by me now. I took for years. I took a long time because of who I am.
Who broke up with who?
When I got tired,
left?
I left. I did.
Okay, exactly. So at that moment, you gave up.
Yeah, well, hell yeah, after all the years.
But y'all say y'all stayed longer. But if you walk away, that means you still walked away.
34 years was long enough for me.
But I'm saying though, y'all say y'all stayed longer. But if you walked away from it, you didn't stay longer.
34 years wasn't long.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
What he's saying is
y'all just said
he didn't walk away from you.
Katie. I never walked away. If you said we was married for 40 years, and on the 41st year you walked away, you still walked away first. So y'all can't say y'all stay longer if you decided to get up and leave.
Right.
Well, I guess I thought T was trying to see who sell for it long. Because if a female is doing something that y'all don't like, come on. Y'all are not gonna stay there.
That's not true.
Y'all gonna do it.
We don't like y'all mouth. We still with it. We don't like this shit.
Okay, another example. This is the example. if y'all old lady cheated on y'all can take it the way the female can take it. Y'all
How
can
you
take
know?
anything.
How you
Kenny, I don't
know?
give a shit. Listen,
That's not true.
Because
Kenny,
A
I don't give
man
a shit.
cannot take it. A man
Let me ask
cannot
you a
take it.
question. Let me
I
ask
don't
you a
give a shit,
question.
Kenny.
If
If you
Will,
want to play
let's
the
go
game,
back
then
to
you can play the game. If you want to play the game with me, then we can play the game.
we
If
can
you
play
play
the
want to
game.
games,
play the game with me,
Yeah,
I'm not going to play the game with because I don't give a shit.
yeah. Let me
Listen,
ask you a question. So let's say the roles were reversed. Let's say Will's entanglement came out before Jada's. You think she would have stayed? Nope.
no,
Because she would have been looked at as a weak ass woman for staying with a man that cheated on her. But Will stayed with his wife because of this, even regardless of whatever they had arranged. He still stuck behind his woman and took up for his woman, even when this information came out. So you can't say a man is so quick to leave when y'all cheat. That's not true.
not
Well,
all.
now we're just in a
Not
business
all.
sense, but I don't. I'm just from my
Does
observation that men
emotions,
can take like women.
as a woman,
hold
does
on.
emotions play a part in how y'all move? Like, are
Oh
you
yeah,
emotional to the point where emotions will make you walk away first
oh
before
yeah,
common sense set in?
hell yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
hell yeah, I walk in
Yes,
a minute.
So
I
yes,
how
in a
would
always
you
minute.
say you
hell
settle
yeah.
for
I
more
got
than
to say I will.
then if you can say that, then how are you saying that women settle for more? If
Right.
you're saying emotions play a part in will you're walking away on just like a drop of a dime, yes, then you're not settling.
But
Now,
see, that's not the. But what is the basis of time? So 1 year could have
Yeah,
been when
exactly.
I was fed up, but I stayed for an additional 9 more. Do you
Okay.
see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So what
Right.
is the base? If we're basing it on time, who's to say what is the boiling point or what is the threshold of what a woman can take? You know, after a year, maybe it's just like, you know what, I really can't do this, but you can't get out of it, and then there's 10 years before you know it, 15 years, 20 years, etc. So then you would have stayed over the time frame.
Is that okay if a woman chooses to walk away based upon her feelings? Is she validated for doing that?
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
I mean that depends on what she's walking away from. She feel like, I guess she feel validated, and that depends on. I guess I would say that the couple they know if they are in a relationship. He know as well as she know if there's what's going on. Don't nobody know what's going on behind the closed door, but those two know if nobody else do.
So she's
So
she's validated for walking away for her because of her feelings and her wants and not wants, right? She's
Hold
well,
on.
okay
that
with that.
depends on why she walked away.
No, no, I'm saying though, if she reached the point of enough is enough. This I've had enough. I can't do it. Her walking away is justifiable if she's reached that point, right?
Well, if he brought her to that point, then
And it
yeah. I
should
mean
be
that
and it
depends
should be
again,
accepted. And it should be accepted by both parties, right?
Mhm.
Right?
right?
What if a man did the same thing? Would I be accepted of walking away, or would I be looked upon as being a no good piece of shit? Because I've had enough and I walked away from it.
No, I feel like you would be cool. A man, I feel like, yes, you would be right in that if you're not in a space where you're happy or you're being fulfilled or completed, and it's bringing you down as an individual, this situation, then absolutely. Why would anybody ever think that a person doing what's best for them is a bad thing?
So
See,
why?
this is
So
where
if
people got
that's
to
the
step
case,
outside of themselves and not take things so personally.
so if that's the case, and a man can have the same justification as a woman, why do women then run and say he wasn't no good? He left me high and dry,
That's their
or
emotion. That's their
he
emotion.
That's
walked
the
away.
That
emotion.
depends on the
He's now looked
situation there.
upon that he
I
only
feel
walked
That
away
that
because he wanted
depends.
to be with this other bitch.
Depends on
He
the
was cheating
situation.
on me with this other bitch, or
Mm-mm.
he wasn't really serious and he was only playing games. How come there's always a narrative attached to
that's
when a
their
man
emotion. You
chooses
know?
to walk away, but when a woman walks away,
Well,
she
that's because he cheated. So it's the
no,
truth.
let's keep the thing
Yes, you throw
fair.
everything to be
Play
cheating.
fair.
Every single thing because he cheated.
Like let's play fair. Let's keep the cheating. Let's say let's not even cheat it. What if the man said I've had enough? I can't deal with all
Yeah.
this unnecessary drama that
Okay,
Maybe you could
how come
okay.
how come at the
And
very
even
end
if I don't think anything is wrong with, again, those two know what's going on in a relationship. Okay, let's just say, for instance, and I know this. that is really happening. Let's say that the woman is the one that is always going out. The woman is the one that's not doing right in a relationship. That the man is the one who is always right. Okay, I see this young man as having every reason why because he done took shit after shit after shit because she ain't shit. She ain't shit. She ain't shit. He would be within his rights to take his child and leave.
I
I
don't believe that nobody not shit. I hate that when we say people ain't shit. That person just wasn't shit for that person,
right.
and then that person they get with us, they're gonna be the right shit for that person. Like we compatible to the person that we get with that we stay with.
No,
And you gotta
no,
find that.
hold on now. I gotta address something that Katie said because she said that we don't settle for a lot of shit. I know a lot of guys that settle just because a girl might have a fat ass. They might settle with a girl because she got a job. They might settle with a girl because she helped him take care of his kids. It's a lot of shit that men settle for. So you can't say that.
Right.
Settle for.
Right.
Or he
Right.
might settle because he in love.
Right.
He might
You're
really
right.
be
Right.
And
in love
she
and
could be
like,
treating him
yo,
like shit.
I
She
never
could be
felt
treating
like
him
this
like
before
shit.
with
And
somebody
he
else.
love her, so he's not gonna leave. He's settled.
Right.
Or it's hard for
You're
him to leave.
right.
Or it might be hard. Like, yo, she always saying this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. But he like, babe, like, let's figure it out. Let's try it. Like, I don't think this is the course of action that we should be employing. Let's figure it out. Let's work together because I love you. I want to be with you. That's not walking
And
away.
you
That's
do
not.
have those that love him. I do agree because this young man who I'm speaking of, he really do love his wife, and there's
All right.
nothing wrong with that.
All right, so let me ask y'all a question. So, what do y'all think this female should do in this instance? Because she loves her husband, she wants to be with him, but he's driving her fucking crazy. So she don't want to leave him, and she also is looking at that they have businesses together. They just bought a new house. She don't want to start all over. Basically, she don't want to start all over and then find the same bullshit, in the next person.
I
So
am the wrong person to give a relationship advice to or
she's
from because my words is always going to be the same. Figure it out. Work on it. Like y'all together for a reason. If he not beating you up, disrespecting you to that point, or making you less than a person, and it's just misunderstanding and miscommunications, and y'all fell out of unison together, then I'm gonna say try to get back to where y'all began, or try to get back to some sense of togetherness, because it ain't gonna ever be like it was in the beginning, but it can still have a beginning, middle, and an end, right?
But this is what I'm saying now is that she's saying he's not with the compromising part. He don't. She's saying that she's being verbally abused, and he's not trying to compromise.
Then she already
Compromise on what?
her
That's what I'm
mind is
saying.
made up.
Compromise on the verbal abuse, Katie. Pay attention.
Her
Oh,
mind
so he
is-
is verbally abusive to her.
Right.
what's verbal abuse?
Always arguing with me and like calling me names and shit. Like calling me names and trying to downgrade me. Like
Mhm.
To each his own, but I mean that's one of the reasons I stepped. I got tired of verbal abuse, but I took it for years, years and years.
Yeah, I think
So.
she's at a point where she kind of knows herself the correct answer. If it's not going to that form of communication that he's expressing is not possibly going to change.
right.
So therefore, if that portion of it is not going to change, how can you then and I get it, like it's a lot invested here. You know what I mean? We're talking about businesses,
Hmm.
we're talking about, a lot years of just family,
Right.
friendship, love, etc. How do you just walk away from that? But I think you do yourself a detriment
Right.
if you're not going to see exactly how the relationship has progressed and transformed. Now, if you're going to be willing to try to get it back to a comfortable space where the partnership can continue, and then maybe you guys can work on getting the love portion back, then maybe that's one thing. But if he's not willing to compromise in any way, shape, or form, and he still continues to belittle you or talk down to you, etc., those things that might not change.
Right.
That might not change. So therefore, it's going to have to be up to her to put on those big girl panties and walk away. It's slim pickings out here for sure.
Right.
Yeah, she's
It's
just gonna
slim
have to, in
pickings
this
out here for
case,
sure.
she has to choose peace, her peace, or
Yes.
her comfortability with life. Have the businesses with him. I mean, she's gonna have to make that choice. What does she want? Peace and happiness, or pain and pushing? Obviously, I mean, go to marriage counseling. Maybe marriage counseling can help. If he loved her enough, then she brings to his attention on what's hurting her, and maybe they can work it out. I mean, I wouldn't say the first thing to do is to leave. You always want to try to work things out before you just walk away.
So T, did she say how this like separation is going so far? Like how long has it been? Or you might have said it and I might have missed it.
She said it's been like a week.
Oh, okay. So it's still
Oh,
fairly
Lord have mercy.
new.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
ain't
still fairly
separated.
new.
So
Because sometimes, the space will
right.
help. You know what I mean? And being
No,
away
you,
from each
no,
other
no,
can
Katie.
help a little.
She said she was on her way to moving out before he left, and he just jumped the gun on her. That's what she said happened.
Well, it sounded to me like they threw with each other.
Mhm.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's a difficult thing when there's family involved and there's businesses involved. So there's a
Yeah,
lot in the
it's
middle.
not easy.
Right.
Exactly. It's not an easy thing to do because they've built too much together.
No, she said he wasn't always that way, Millennia. This
Hmm.
is a good question. This is a good question right here, though. This is the part where I think people are missing. Are people still falling in love, or are they just with people that they love?
Good
That's
question. Do people still fall in love? I
hell
mean,
yeah.
because with the dating game that y'all describe, people don't fall in love anymore.
I believe that a lot of people have altered, intentions, different intentions, but some people still fall in love. I still
You
believe
think
that.
so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's your thoughts on that? Y'all think people still fall in love, or they just love the person that they're with?
Um,
I'm,
I figure they just love the person they with. I don't know.
Aisha, what's
I
happening?
I'm a lover of love, man. I believe in that fairy tale love, and whether it happens or not, like I still
Yeah, they are
believe in
making
that.
it.
And I do feel like people do still fall in love. I do. I do.
That's
I,
sweet. Now that's a good question.
I
Y'all let
think
us know out there in the audience.
I think more people are on the business side of it, and they love their person more than people being in love. That's what I think. What you think?
Mm.
What you think now?
Yeah. Um.
You stuck now?
No, you know what it is. I'm having an epiphany. Actually, I'm having a come to Jesus moment
I can dig
because just to be transparent. And never do we get up on here and we try to be more than what we are, or express views that we're not living. I'm actually sympathizing with this young lady because I've even had my own run-ins with my own um anger issues, my own just being, sometimes it could look like I'm empathetic, not caring, or letting my emotions get out of control to the point where it looks like I am enraged. And I never want that to ever come across to the person that I love as, as that being a hindrance to us being able to move forward, being able to work on our issues, or even feeling love. So, you know, that's something that one always is trying to work on, just trying to be the best me. But also, I recognize that's an issue where, the way you communicate doesn't always land on a person the way it should, and it could come off as being overbearing and demeaning. So, as I sit here and I listen to the story and I listen to you guys talk, I read the comments, I realize that's something that's always a work in progress for myself. You know me since I was a little boy to, you know, how we got on the basketball court and I was the shit starter out there. And I was one I was the shooter. I was the one that always was with the shit. And I realized that ain't always the true mark of a man, you know, is always being in controversy and not knowing how to control his behavior. And that's something that is always, again, that I need to work on, and always needing to be cognizant of, to where it's not affecting my partner.
Right.
So internalization is always the best form of understanding to help you move forward with yourself, but also to be loving to someone else. And to answer Sarah's question is, are people still falling in love? This may sound so corny and so cliche, but I fall in love each and every day I wake up, because I love myself, which in turn is helping me love the person I'm with even more, because of the specialness that they have to deal with when they deal with me. just to have that strength, personality, being able to deal with life, and just being able to deal with love, and how it comes off from both parties is amazing. Yes, people are still falling in love, and it's a great feeling to be in love. And that's why I said I'm even the worst person to give advice to or get it from, because I'm always going to choose to stay. I'm going to choose to stay, even if it's toxic or not, because I believe in love. Love is what brought us to this point. Love is what got us to the point where I'm asking questions to understand what it is that is helping me either to make the decision of staying or leaving, right? So I believe love is present, prevalent, and real, right? I believe it. Absolutely.
No. So if I ask you a question, you said a good word that you know that people don't talk about enough. You said empathy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when talking about empathy, do you think it's possible for people to have empathy for their mate after their mate hurt them? I think they lose that empathy part.
It's like I say this a lot, and I use this term a lot. It's like getting punched in the eye. The moment you get hit, regardless if it's a mistake or not, you've been hurt.
Right.
The person can apologize 1,000 times over, even if it was just a backhand slap or whatever. You know what it felt like to be hit. So the moment they go to raise their hand, even if it's to hug you, you're flinching. Why? Because your innocence for that situation right there has been taken away. You now know how it feels. So yes, the moment that level of understanding that you've never, like, it's like, again, it was like we equate this as something easy that everybody can understand. It's like cheating, right? The moment you get cheated on, you know how that pain felt. So it's not foreign to you anymore. You're not a virgin to it anymore. You know what that pain felt like. So you never want to experience that again.
Right. So ladies, I want to ask y'all, is it hard for y'all to have empathy for a guy that hurt you?
And you're still with
That
them?
depends on how you
Or
hurt. But I mean, that depends on how he hurt me, I guess. I mean, I can truly say I still have had empathy, or I could have empathy. Like I say, I went and took care of my ex. He wasn't my ex at the time, but he was on the way to ex, but he needed me at the time, and I went to care of him. Now, rewind that, fast forward. He did ask me afterwards, after we had gotten divorced, if I would like cook a dish for him. Well, hell no, motherfucker, you got one for that now.
See,
So,
that's what I mean. That empathy right there, Katie. What you just said, right there.
well, he got a woman now, so why would I be trying to cook for him? No.
Aisha, same question. Where's your empathy level?
yeah, my empathy, I'm gonna always remain me no matter what. Like, even being hurt, even towards this person, like, you can never strip me of who I am. I'm going to still have empathy for you. I may choose not to deal with you and to remove myself after the hurt, but my empathy will
Mhm.
always still remain. Like, I am still going to be true and genuine to who I am. And if I still love you even after the hurt, you're not going to notice any change in my behavior. I'm still going to
Exactly.
be me. I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to love how I love, and I love hard. So it's going to remain whether you hurt me or not. You know who loses if you hurt me? You.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That's it.
We just got to be aware of what we got to be aware of the energies we put out there too. Also, we gotta realize you can't be playing with people and expect not to be played with back, right? Like people, like just because you might not be with it, they might be with it, and that's no excuse. Like somebody might be really like with the shit, and you might not be down for that, and you can't play with people in they face like that.
Right.
Like so, you got to be cognizant of the type of individual that you are. If you a puppy, be a puppy.
Right.
If you can hang with the big dogs, then you can hang with the big dogs. And some people can handle it. They can dish it and they can take it. But don't just dish that shit and think that all right, it's cool. I can say what I want and nobody can't say nothing back to me. Like you can't be playing with people like that. People have switches, and they switch will have them going somewhere else with it.
So now, when that happens, whose job is it to, make the divide?
It's the like for an example, let's say you got somebody like let's say you got a person that you're in a relationship with, right?
Right.
And y'all beefing right now,
Right.
and they texting you, they just at you with the shit, right? Like they just won't let up.
Right.
It's for you to be the bigger person because you can let them. Like what they don't understand is they make themselves look like a fool, right? You could say 1,000, 50,000, you could say 1,000,009 things to me, but it's the one moment I respond, I become the bad guy. Right? And every time you ain't got to take the bait every time. And that's what I had to learn. That's what I am continuing to learn, that not every fight deserves me to put my hands up.
Right.
It might just me be walking away because at the end of the day, they only talking to themselves.
Right.
Because if they didn't pull up to me in my face or call me on the phone, then it's just words. And as I get older, I understand words can't kill me. I can love to see another day with somebody's with a bunch of words. So they only play themselves because at the end of the day, you're doing all that for what? What is it for? Like that's why me and T said on this podcast several times over. It's a way of handling things. Like I'm not going to read this long text messages because that's not how you get across to me.
Right.
You want to talk to me, you want to get your point across to me, just call me. Let's talk. Even if the conversation at one point may seem one-sided or we might go left here, may go left here. I got a greater respect for you when you pull up to me and let's have a conversation in real time instead of the cowardly way and text message. I can't feel what you're saying if you sending me a text message because I'm not reading it. I already told you I'm not going to read it. So if you're expecting a response from me, you're not going to get it. So you know what you're doing right now? You're being this big bad bully to yourself because you're texting yourself. So it's always about, in this point in time, and as we're seeing from the slap, as we're seeing from whatever, it's all about your response to it. Chris Rock is being revered because of his patience with the situation, right? Will Smith looks like the big bad bully because of what he did. The moment Chris Rock would have responded and they started rumbling, it would have been two black men rumbling at the Oscars.
Right.
It wouldn't have been, oh shit, it was a victim.
Right.
Oh shit, somebody really got hit and hurt, and now we got to check on them. Right? So it's like if you can't live in this world of I can dish it and I can take it, then don't dish it.
but it's easy to say that when a lot of people don't know that they can't take it. That's the thing.
They can't take it. Because then when you speaking your truth, then they be like, oh, you fugazi. Oh, people really know the real you. People know the real me. So stop playing with me. Like for real. Because I'm telling you, I can be an ass.
Right.
But then when I be an ass, is oh shit! Look how you went out.
Right.
Nah, don't keep playing. Don't keep poking the bear because the bear is the real killer.
All right, lady.
We're not condoning that kind of behavior on the show.
Lady,
You know what I mean?
what's
We're not gonna condone.
What's your last words on this topic and empathy and all of that? What's your last words?
I think let's answer Diana's question real quick. See, let's answer her question. Is that empathy? No. No, I don't. It's a thin line between empathy and non-empathetic. Being empathetic and non-empathetic, right? Having empathy and being non-empathetic is you got to know what battles to pick. That's basically what it is. You got to know what battles to fight, and that sometimes we get so emotional, we so attached to what the battle is that we're picking because we have so much stock in the game that we get so entrenched in it, and that we got to argue our point because we are emotionally attached to it, right? Like an argument. Let's say me and KD or me and Aisha are in a relationship, and we are both arguing points. It's because we are emotionally attached to that point that we're discussing, that we both have to get our truths out about it, right? That truth that come out of my mouth might not land on Aisha or KD's ear the same way that their truth might land on my ear. So we decipher what we want to hear at that moment. But we should have empathy for the person that we love enough to be able to listen and be able to say, all right, we both had a blow up, or we both said things that we didn't mean to say. Now let's gather all that was said, and let's start unpacking it. And let's start to figure out where we can have common ground and what really is truth and what's not.
So, ladies, is that easier? Is that easy for you when you're coming off of an emotional roller coaster?
What, to talk?
To be empathetic.
Yeah, I can always be empathetic.
I'm talking about if you're in an emotional space.
I mean,
it's easy for me all around the board.
I think it would be easy
for men.
What I'm saying.
It's easy for men in most cases because we're emotional,
right?
And our emotions are leading us to be to our voices to be raised, or hopefully it should never get physical,
right?
But our voices got raised and we got real animated. Right. But once the emotion has wore off and we had time to cool down, hopefully we can become empathetic to each other and say, damn, she's still a woman.
Right. That's what I'm
saying. He's still my man.
That's the part that gets hard because my ego will not allow me to be empathetic when you're poking me. Like if you're poking me, my ego is going to take charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine too.
And what do you call poking, T? What do y'all call poking?
When you
like if they're trying to communicate with you how they feel, is that poking?
When you playing with me.
When you consider playing.
Yeah, when you playing with me like I'm not who I am, like when you're playing with me like I'm not who I am, then that's when my ego is going to show you who I am.
Yeah.
Well, I guess your woman would know what you consider playing with you.
You absolutely know.
People know what that means, Katie.
Yeah, people know what that means.
People know what that means.
Like you
agree.
You know when you take a shit too far.
Right.
You know, like damn, I'm kind of going a little bit too far. Like I'm poking the bear. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right,
you're right.
You gotta.
I guess I don't poke. That's why.
If you want to continue to poke, you got to realize that you might poke a bear to wake up.
Right.
And if they wake up, they wake up. But then too, I gotta have then I'm entrusted to have self-control.
Right.
And I gotta have all of these intangibles.
Right.
Because I'm the man, right? I'm supposed to have self-control. I'm supposed to be empathetic. I'm supposed to be caring and loving and protective. And I can't, and I'm not supposed to get
right.
Remember, I'm still a man.
Right.
With feelings and emotions. So that's when empathy always should come in and play and say, all right, this at the end of the day, this is still my man, still my lady. Let me calm the fuck down.
Hold on now, because they're asking for explanations when it means point. So this is what it means, KD. When y'all do that thing where y'all be like, I don't care what you do, I don't care what you say. When y'all do that thing, that's when you're playing with me. You
That's
playing
not playing. We're telling you how we feel.
with it. Yes, it is, because you don't mean that. Because you don't mean that. So that's what it means.
Sometimes maybe they do mean it when they saying it. At times they mean it.
That's
Or
what I
playing
mean.
with
I
you,
mean,
man, or playing with you could be the fact that only your point is valid.
Right.
Only you can have anything to say. Only you can express yourself. In the moment, I go say, all right, cool, I understand, but how about we work on these things?
Right.
And that shit gets dismissed. That's playing with a person. Or
Right.
you know your mate, you know the things that they don't want or they don't like, and you do that. That's
Right.
playing with them.
Right.
well, that comes from knowing your mate. So again,
Yeah.
that come with knowing your partner.
That's what I'm saying. People know what it is when you playing with somebody.
Or
You
you
know what
send a
it is.
nasty ass text message to me and I call your phone and
Wow.
you keep hitting me to end. You keep sending me to end or you don't answer. That you don't really want to talk. You want to be messy. That's playing with a
Right.
person.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment I don't answer my phone is who the fuck you, who you with, or you can't answer my calls, or it'll always be that kind of energy. So that's called playing with a person. It's always a point of trying to be toxic,
Right.
trying to be messy, trying to be controversial.
It's like it's talking to me a certain way. It's certain behaviors. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things, but you know what it is when you're the person on the opposite side of that person. You
Mhm.
know what that is when you playing with me. You clearly know what it is because we've been through a certain amount of things.
Right.
You know what my buttons are.
Yeah.
That's what it means. You know
Mm-hmm.
what my buttons are, and you're purposely
Well, let me ask you this: do either one of you ever push her buttons?
I don't got
Right.
time for that, Katie. I
I'm
don't got
sure
time for that.
I'm sure I have. I ain't gonna ever sit here and say I haven't pushed buttons. I'm never gonna sit here and say what come out my mouth may have not been a trigger, may have not have whatever. But you know what I go back to what I said before. I can take it.
Right.
What I dish, I can take.
Right.
I can stand up for that shit. We can go back and forth. Not saying it's right, but I ain't gonna wilt in the corner and start crying
Right.
after the conversation.
Right.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to use that and say, "Oh, you were so disrespectful and people don't know the real you." And I ain't going to do that shit.
Like
Cause
that's what I'm saying. Like no, I learned that like you can't joke with everybody. I learned that you can't joke with everybody because they don't know how to take the joke. Like
Yeah.
take it serious. And when you're only joking, so you have to learn who you can joke with and who you can't joke with because everybody don't is not playing. Everybody don't know what the joke is.
Yeah.
That's
Or
true.
I just realized that
Learn.
everybody don't have the same sense of
Right.
views that I have on certain
Right.
topics.
Right.
It's just not going like I'm resigned to the fact that my thoughts is my thoughts only, and hopefully we share some of the same views. But I can't get you to be in my mind, and I can't get in your mind. So that's why I would like for you to tell me what you're really talking about instead of poking me with what you're talking about. Because there's a way, like if I don't answer the phone and like I could be at work, right, and I don't answer the phone. Just an example, I could be at work, I don't answer the phone, and I don't got my phone in my hand. Oh, I know you seen my text, but why you ain't responding to my text? Like I'm at work. Like, all right, my question is, well, what time did you call me? Well, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Well, you should have been at lunch. You're assuming.
Right. Then you gonna tell me
You're
what time
assuming that I'm taking lunch the same time you
Right.
might have taken lunch, or that I seen your call, I'm ignoring your call. No, I could just be busy, or I'm not into you because it just be a whole bunch of shit that don't be necessary. But again,
Yeah, no, because I used to purposely do like I could purposely do these little tests. Like I could purposely do a little test with any female. I could purposely do a little test to see how she's gonna react. But I had to
So
learn
you purposely poke the bear.
Right.
because
Is that what I'm hearing? You purposely poke the bear.
this is what I'm trying to say, Katie, because
Uh-huh.
I could deal with the get back. That's why. I could do that because I could deal with the get back. It matters to me none. I could deal with the get back, but I had to learn that it's not necessary. It's just not necessary all the time.
yeah, certain things just don't like. I've realized.